Greetings from Bozeman, Montana. Much like our last day off, today was a day spent in the bus. We had a good 12-hour drive, I think, today from our last gig, and so I'm really tired of submarine rides, and sadly, we have a lot more coming up. But we rolled in here about maybe 2, 3 o'clock, and after taking care of a few things, like taking a shower, went over to old Chicago Pizzeria, which is I guess a chain on this place we spent the last day off at in Colorado Springs. Great beer selection over there, which is basically why we went. So there's about 4 or 5 of us showed up. The Tesla guys were next door, so a couple of them came over, had a good laugh. Jeff Keith stopped by. Oddly enough, when they had Tesla popped up on the radio or the jukebox, video jukebox they had one on there. I think it was actually a pre-programmed thing because like Leopard popped in about the second song after I walked in. Wasn't nothing anybody was buying songs. It was just the corporate thing. But it was just kind of funny to have him sit down in the bar and suddenly have Modern Day Cowboy pop up. He ordered iced tea, by the way. Jeff doesn't drink. But anyways. Good times, good laughs, and best part of the whole day, though, was hanging out with my friend Bronwyn, Dr. Bacon. Actual last name, actual doctor. Friend from high school, so I've known her for 20 years, plus years. And her and her husband moved out here a couple years ago. She's got practice in the area. On the last time we were through town, they signed the lease on the building they're in. Like the day we were here, so it's really, really cool. Got to go have dinner with her, catch up, and just good laughs. It's nice seeing somebody from childhood catch up again. She was kind enough to pop my back a little bit because my ribs are just killing me. I had an injury I did years ago where my one of the ribs, my right side, kind of pops out on the back side. I notice it mainly if I don't know if it's bar stools. It's the thing of being hunched over a bar that just kind of, for some reason, aggravates my back like all hell. And it was just really bugged me the last couple of days. And she was very nice enough to pop back in place, so I'm all happy. Tomorrow we have our show in Bozeman again. Last time we were here was a good show. And then we're doing a overnight border crossing into, I believe, Edmonton. I guess you could probably look up the schedule online. You guys probably know more than I do. But we have our last little U.S. show for a week, and then we got to run across Canada, and then back down the West Coast, which should be fun. I'm looking forward to Vancouver. It's our first actual proper day off on this run. Pretty much this whole tour leg so far has been a long submarine ride. So we to Vancouver. We actually have 2 whole days, or day and a half off in the city, which would be a lot of fun. Anyways, I got a question today from our buddy Andy, and he wanted to know, does Rick's kit work off a power supply? So if the whole stage goes down, does his sound? Also, he wanted to know about the intermix I use. So basically, our entire stage runs off UPSs, like uninterruptible power supplies. We have actually 4 of them on the backline side or backline audio side of things. We have a really huge 7 kVA one that runs Monitor World and also handles stage left, which is Phil's rig, and then Rick's rig as well as stage right for Sav and Viv. We each have our own our power distro. So we have basically coming straight off of the main power distros. I get actually it's a 5TL connection, basically a 220 line that goes right to my rig. We plug into Furman, I think it's AR3600G units, I believe, which is a great power supply. It weighs a damn ton. It's like 4 rack spaces, huge. But essentially, I can take power anywhere in the world, and it outputs 110 for me. From there, I plug into basically a really, really burly 2 rack space UPS. Kind of like the overkill version of what you have at home. Now, the reason we do this is not so if the stage power goes down, we're okay for the show. If the stage power goes down, the PA's down. If everything goes down, it doesn't really matter. What we have those for is basically, well, twofold. One is if somebody yanks a cable out, doesn't pop all the signal. But mainly is so if God forbid, the whole show goes down, we have a chance to save and power things down without popping our rigs. Our front house guy has the same thing built in his rack. There's a UPS. Sometimes during the day, if he has to do any little quick work, he'll actually power the console off the UPS, so you get about 20-30 minutes of work done before we run power out to him. The monitor one is considerably larger and runs the entire rig. It's like a 7 kVA unit. But it's really mainly there to prevent like momentary brownouts, and also if the whole show goes down, we don't lose any work, because there's a ton of computers on stage. I mean, Rick's rig is all computer based. Even the guitar rigs are a fair amount of computer technology going on over there. So that's why we have those. Also, with the actual fern pieces, it's really, really handy when you're traveling around the world. You know what? I always have clean power. So secondly, as far as my intermix, I listen to exactly the same mix Rick's does, and I also listen to the same in-ears. So we have the Jerry Harvey Roxannes. Sound fantastic, by the way. It's pretty rare for backline guys to get different mixes than the guy they work for. You run into that generally if you are working for more than one artist on stage, or if you have like needs that they don't need. When I was working with Hart, because I was doing drums and keys, I actually had my own cue mix, and I was the only backline guy on stage to have his own cue mix. Mainly because the drummer didn't have a lot of keys in his mix, and the keyboard player didn't need any clicks. So in order for me to know that everything was working, I'd have a separate mix just so I could go like, yes, all the gears working properly, I can hear stuff. And essentially what I had was basically the drummer's mix with a lot more keys added. It was still just basically a cue mix just so I could hear the show, but it wasn't really anything too crazy. With Rick's mix, it's really, it's just, the ask here, is it, yeah, okay, so you want to know if it's the same as Rick's or more kit heavy. Well, it's the same as Rick's, but also Rick's mix is, mainly you've got the kit and the click about the same level. And then as far as like the order down, he probably listens a little bit more Viv than Phil and then Sav, and the vocals are just kind of right across the bottom there. It's really a cue mix. It's not like when you listen out front of house. It's really, so he knows where the show's at. Like the vocals are there more to go, where they are on the song. And he does a lot of rhythm interplay with Viv, so like for the syncopation, which is why Viv's a little bit louder as mix, than Phil. I mean, but we're talking like a dB. I mean, it's like the balance is just like, if I'm around like just a little bit like that, just a little bit off, tilt. But that's basically what I listen to. At this point, if I'm listening to Leopard on the radio, I hear the click in my head because I've listened long enough this way. That's really about it. So tomorrow, another gig here in town. Hopefully, I'll get some fun little footage when we're walking around. I just couldn't be bothered to get on my bunk this morning to drive duty filming on the way in. It really is gorgeous up here. It's a beautiful part of the country. Truly, just stunning the mountains and the hills. But just filming through a dirty bus window is just really uninspiring. It's like filming through a dirty lens. You're just like the whole time, at least as a photographer, I'm looking at the dirt lens. It's just driving me batshit nuts. So, which is why I didn't do any cool filming on the way in. But I'll try to get some a little bit close for you guys tomorrow. If you have any more questions, please file them away. I'll try to answer them for you guys and keep you posted on a little fun knickknacks of Leopard World. With that, see you tomorrow.